All right, and we are back. So, hope you guys enjoyed that, walk through memory lane as far as the Terminator franchise go. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
it started off really, really strong. It really did. Those first two
Yeah.
movies still stand out to this day, but it's just it
Yeah,
couldn't find a proper footing with the other ones. Now,
yeah, it's a classic choice.
yeah, now with this one here with Dark Fate, you know what I mean? Like, as a fan, as a diehard Terminator fan, I call myself a diehard fan because not only have I seen I just say that because I've seen all of them. Of course, I saw all of them, but from three to this one, I spent money to see these films. I went to the theaters to see all of them because I was hoping that with the next installment they actually they actually be able to recapture that spirit that the first two movies had. You know what I mean?
Right.
But with this one here, you know what I mean? The big, well, one of the big sells actually is the return of Linda Hamilton into the franchise. Because we haven't
Right.
seen her literally since the second one, right? As we all know. Also, James Cameron, being one of the official producers of the film, and just helping out as far as the story of the show goes. Not so much the screenplay. Screenplay is actually handled by Billy Ray, Justin Rhodes, and your boy David Goyer, right? So
Right.
yeah. And then, well, not surprising, Arnold Schwarzenegger is back, right? Because what I mean, we can't really sell a Terminator movie without him. And if you heard what I said before with our talk about about that Terminator film, about the first Terminator, sorry, I made that comment about how the franchise will ever continue if Arnold isn't involved. You know what I mean? I mean, they took a
Right.
risk with Terminator Salvation. Look at what happened, right? So I don't know, but anyway, so we're here now. We have Dark Fate, and before jumping into what the story is about, I won't say there was like a large amount of hype surrounding the film, but it's the reviews that kind of had me a little bit concerned, a little bit worried, a little bit like, really? Because
Right.
they were saying that, oh well, this is one of the best Terminator movies in quite some time,
Well,
and
yeah.
it's your third best,
Just
but is
introduced.
is your third best? I mean, that's not really saying much. It's your third best. I mean,
Exactly.
the first two always gonna be great, but oh, it's just as good as the first two. Well, kinda, I guess. But
Right.
I didn't really buy it that much. I was just like, all right, let me just see the show for myself. Let me see what's this third best thing gonna be about, right? And without wasting any time, let me just jumping into what Dark Fate is about, right? I'll leave the spoiler stuff for when we get into the actual review, right? So the film begins basically about a few years after the second film, right? After Judgment Day,
Yeah.
and we see
Yeah. 1990.
in 1988, right? And we see Sarah and John, I mean, just living life, I guess. But then something happens. Not gonna say what it is as yet, and that just more or less puts Sarah back on this whole Terminator evading and well now to Terminator hunting mode that we see that the trailers and the whole publicity has been hinting at now, that yeah, she's a badass now, she's hunting down Terminators now. So pretty much the beginning is how that led to that point, right? So now we cut to 2019, right? And we are introduced basically to a new Terminator model. He's called the Rev 9, right? He's played by Ghost Rider himself. If you're
Yeah. Give
familiar
reference.
with the Age of the Shield series, Gabriel
Yeah.
Luna, Gabriel, sorry, not Gabriel, oops, Gabriel
Gabriel
Luna.
Luna.
Yeah, right. So he shows up, but in a kind of a twist, kind of like a little tweak that they do, as opposed to the hero coming in afterwards with the time displacement, you know, technology. Sorry, he shows up. He shows up afterwards, but before this soldier for the future shows up first. This is Grace. She's played by your Gail Mackenzie Davis, and
Right.
then we learn later on that she is cybernetically augmented, right? She
Right. Yeah.
she could run pretty fast. She has mechanics inside of her body and all that kind of stuff. So she shows up first, and the setting of all this at the moment is Mexico City, right? So we're not really sure
Right.
why she shows up here. But all that aside, though, we are also introduced to the character of Daniela Ramos, or Danny, played by Natalia Reyes. She is a well, she basically she's a young woman. Well, basically in the well, it's assumed that
Yeah.
she's in the
She's roughly the same age that
Yeah,
Sarah
that
wasn't.
that Sarah was. So that's like, like 18 to 20 around that period, right? She works at this factory with her brother, and basically the Rev 9 is sent. Well, we learn that he's sent basically to destroy her, to kill her, right? And
Yeah,
Grace shows up to save her. Her brother unfortunately doesn't make it. There's a car chase, a lot of cars being flipped and smashed through and whatnot. And then when you take it, oh, okay, when is the Do Ex Machina gonna show up? She does show up, right? In the form of Linda Hamilton, right? So she shows up, we see it in the trailer, she pull out the gun and then the rocket launcher, all that jazz, and then she reveals who she is, and then she kind of reveals how she was able to find them at that specific point, right? So she learns
yeah,
about Grace's mission, which is basically, her being sent from the future to save Danny, because yes, she is the leader of this new resistance, and it's not Skynet anymore because Skynet was wiped out in 1997, because that is
yeah,
the sticking with. Okay, fine, whatever. But now we have a group. Now we have this new AI called Legion, right? One of the most original names ever, right? And in the
yeah,
process, well, we'll get into that in the spoilers, because yeah, you're kind of wondering where's Annie, like where's Arnold Schwarzenegger, how he's gonna be how he's gonna be incorporated in the story, and they find a way. I'll share my honest opinion on the way that they do it, but yes,
right.
they find him, and we understand what he's up to, what that particular T800 is up to, and now because he understands the importance of saving, stopping judgment, all that kind of jazz, he he steps in, what I mean, as a hero to help
Yeah,
these three ladies, well, defeat the Rev 9, and that pretty much in a nutshell is what this movie is about.
right.
So let me start. All right. So before I jump into my opinions on the show, as a movie going experience, because I know we always start off with what we thought about the show just in general, right? What were your thoughts on Dark Fate in general?
Right. So I do agree that it is the best of the sequels, quote unquote, right? Post is the best of the post Judgment Day sequels. Right.
Right.
Uh However, this still needed a ton of punching up for it to work. It still doesn't work. A lot of it doesn't. But I had fun with it. Action was good. I thought the Rev 9 was pretty damn cool. Like they fixed everything that was wrong with the TX in the Rev 9. Everything that was
Yeah.
wrong with TX fixed with Rev 9, in my opinion. Uh, yeah, and I think where they really slip is where the quote unquote big thing in it happens. They kind of fucked that up, right? Because they didn't. Okay, so the first big thing the big reveal had no real payoff to it. It's just done for no good purpose, in my opinion. And then the second big thing was like a dumb misdirection, right? So let's just talk about those two big things. Spoiler alert from here on in.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Spoiler alert. You've been warned.
Yes.
Right. Go.
All right.
So, yeah.
Right. John Connor dies. Young John
Yes.
Connor. Young John
Yes.
Connor died in 1998. Yeah, because the Terminator, a T-800 comes back and kills him. Just shoots him in the stomach with
Right.
the chest with a shotgun. Right, he dead.
Yes.
Sarah have to handle that, and she had to deal with 30 years without him for some reason. She was getting help out from the same Terminator who kill her, and apparently
Well,
it
sorry.
was the
Well, who killed his son actually?
who killed the son, right?
Yeah.
And okay, so here's why that was kind of duties, right?
Yeah,
Because
this well, sorry to interrupt you there, but why I find it so ironic is that it could have been some other. Well, I mean, like yes, the T800, right? It could have been in with some other likeness, but no,
no,
it just
no, no,
had to be Arnold, right?
no, no.
Because
Here's the thing.
they want to replicate, because basically they want to replicate the moment where like where yeah, the characters would just see that, like, sorry, I'll throw up a fake example, like when Sarah was in the was in the mental hospital, and she sees Arnold for the first time, right? When she's trying to when he comes in with her son, and she just gets stunned all of a sudden, right?
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
that kind of tactic that they want to use again, like, oh my god,
No, no,
Arnold, what?
stuff like that I don't mind. I don't
All
mind
right.
like stuff like that. It's like whatever. It's fine because
Like
they kind of
it's an infiltration unit, so why not
whatever.
have it be another robot? Just saying.
Whatever.
But anyway, go on.
I, I don't really care because it's like whatever the T-800. Here's the thing. As I said, that they could have sit down and make that work. Because the script, if the script had a little bit of punching up, it could have worked. And I look, I talking as a Sarah Connor Chronicles stan,
Yes.
that would have addressed a lot of that better. So to me, that should have a better payoff. Now here's the problem: the second payoff it could have fed into, and they didn't do that. The movie has a big missed opportunity, and they just kind of didn't really do anything interesting with it. And that was my problem with this movie.
Right.
It's not that the movie. I don't think the movie that bad. Like it in terms of action, it's quite good. I actually enjoyed the first two action sequences. That first action sequence, the first big extended chase and whatever it is, and then
Yes.
the end. And is a very good action sequence. That final fight is quite good.
Yeah. I'll
And
share my thoughts on the action scenes later on, but go on.
and then Gabriel Luna was cool. He's actually pretty badass, and he, you know what I liked about him is that he was like literally the opposite of the Grace character, because the Grace character was just blunt and just roughing people up constantly, and
Yeah.
he was like polite and like no nonsense and straightforward. He wasn't like killing anybody that he didn't need to kill.
Exactly. You could tell that he was drawing inspiration from Robert Patrick, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
That kind
Which I
of
don't
like
mind. Again,
sly look to him. You know what I mean? Yeah.
yeah. Again, I don't really mind none of that, but they needed a proper payoff for the big conceit of killing John Connor in 1998. Because the thing is, they do a kind of shit job of explaining where that T-800 come from and why it come back if Skynet is missing, right?
Yeah.
I was annoyed by that. Like they explain it, they say, "Oh well, Skynet just dump a bunch of Terminators in the past, and that's why." But I was like, no, that's just kind of dumb and lazy, and didn't make any sense to me. Now.
And
Right.
why with Arnold's likeness? Why?
Well, again, it's Skynet send back that, right? And like, okay, whatever. I don't really, that's not a big problem for me because you can say, well, it gone back just to trick John or whatever.
That's kind of stupid though. Kind of like,
right.
Oh well, the only type of Terminators we could send are ones with Arnold's like this. So here we go.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The second big conceit in the storyline is so stupid and so lazy that it kind of just ruined the story for me. That is where they reveal, well, she's the leader, not the mother of the leader, and as if that is some big twist.
Right? Yeah, totally agree. Yeah.
They sell that as some big misdirection, and as anything but a misdirection. It's like I guessed that from the trailer. I was like, yeah, she's the leader, right? Like she's the leader, not the mother of the leader. Like, true, I was thinking
even
that.
For the first trailer, you picked up on it. For the first trailer, you picked up on it.
Right. No, but at no point I think she would have been the mother for the leader. So when Linda Hamilton said that, I was like, yeah, well, that's possible, but like, yeah, it's quite possible that she could just be the leader. Like, just leave it at that. What's the problem here? And that is when they spend the whole movie, like a whole chunk of the movie, like trying to sell that as this thing, and then they have a whole like extended flash sequence in the memory of Grace's memory now.
Grace's, yeah.
You're the one who rescued me, and so on, so forth. And I was like, what? Like,
I'll talk about that too. But go on, yeah.
What are they hyping that up as a thing for? Like, is that a problem? Like, I don't. What? Why? Whatever. Here's my thing. I just felt like a quick tweak of the script could have improved this so much, like so much, and they just didn't do that, Jared. And that is what kind of was annoying about this for me. Like, they could have just make a quick tweak of the script that would justify what they do with John Connor. I not like to hang up about the John Connor thing. Like, I know you might have some pissy fanboys that could be about that. Oh, John Connor is the central thing, and John Connor this. Like, no,
there are people already pissed off by that, sir.
Like, whatever. It's not a problem for me because here's the thing: Sarah Connor Chronicles addressed all that bullshit. It addressed all that bullshit like long time. It's actually a really good show. I keep saying that. It's a great show that I understood the material. And that's about it. Like, Legion is a Newarian enemy because, like, well, it just created the Rev 9 apparently. Like, all right, whatever, cool. And that's it. It's just a Newarian script. The Carl Arnold is kind of funny. Like, he was okay, not the worst character, but not the best character either.
Agreed. Yeah.
Again, a better script could have make him work better. Because I would have a simple way to like justify, well, why Arnold was sent back in the first place. And I would have a big interesting twist with it and what my vision of the script is. However, it's my Monday morning quarterbacking. That will never be made. It's a shame that they couldn't do a better script. Hopefully, if this does well, and I really hope it does well, you continue from this franchise from here on in. This is where you go with. I thought Mackenzie Davis was pretty good. I liked her character. She's cool. It made sense the kind of downside she had with her character. like she's overheat and she gets sick when she uses her powers because like she's not supposed to have all that cybernetic shit inside her body.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
I like that too. I like that. Yeah.
she overheating and she needs some medicine and all that bullshit, right? And she had good back and forth with Grace and sorry
With Linda
uh,
and well
Linda
Danny's car well
Dan,
the character of Danny, sorry.
Dan,
Yeah.
right, yeah. She was okay. That wasn't so bad. I just thought that the script just that big reveal, if they change that and make it smarter, it could have worked. Everything else was just fine. It started off good. Like the whole big starting with John being killed in 1998. It's like, yeah, cool, that's a good idea. Go with that. I don't really mind that. It was a bold choice. Go with it. And then, but the payoff, they had no workable payoff, and that's the problem with this. It's a shame.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I agree with you for the most part with what it is you said there. Because all right. Well, let me just get it good out of the way, right? The action scenes, right? I thought that they were handled very well. I mean,
yeah, they're good.
sure, it's your 2010 style of film, action filmmaking, a lot of cuts, a lot of explosions, you know what I mean? But what I like about it too, right? And well, what I should have started off with basically is that this to me is what Terminator 3 should have been if James Cameron was, behind the wheel, if he was, handling things, right? Because it really does feel like a progression from the second one, right? Mainly
Right.
because I made this comment with our recent discussion of the first Terminator that 3, 4, and 5, those films, their action scenes, um, while they were entertaining, they weren't as intense. They weren't as memorable as like the ones in
Yeah,
the
right.
first two.
Yeah, they
This
weren't
one here,
meaningful.
yeah, with Dark Fate, while I wouldn't say that they completely um like I would say that I'll remember these things in a hurry, right? But at the same time, I felt the intensity with
Yeah, yeah.
nearly every
They
action
were
sequence.
meaningful.
I
Yeah.
felt it, and it wasn't just it's a R film, it's a R-rated film, so we're just gonna be ultra violent with it. No, I felt the intensity. You know what I mean?
No,
When
because why it work is because Luna was intimidated. He really worked as a
yes, yes,
Terminator.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Every time he is on
And
screen,
then what I'm saying is that what they did with the Rev 9 by making the Rev 9 this kind of two Terminator thing at the same time, but it's one. And I thought that was really clever and dangerous. Now you really got
yeah.
a sense of menace from him.
Yeah. He was he did have a he had a menacing aspect about him, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, those moments with him I thought worked like yes, the car chase or the extended car chase sequence. I was on board with that. I was just really excited at how intense those scenes were. And that to me was what was missing from, the post Terminator 2 films, with the exception
Yeah.
of that car chase scene from the third film, which I still regard as one of the best car chase sequences of, 2003, right? But yeah, this one you really felt it was like going back to basics basically. It was dirty. It was just in your face with it and whatnot. I
Yeah.
was just like, okay, we just gotta. It was like, wow, like what the late great Roger Ebert called white knuckle. You know what I mean? It was just like having you at the edge of your seat now. And I agree with you too. The final sequence I thought was great as well. It had that intensity in it as well too, especially with that fight scene basically with Grace and with Grace and Carl now going up against
Yeah.
Rev, and I thought that was fantastic actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Her using the chain that was kick ass. I
Yeah.
love that. Mean how she just was twirling it at top speed. I just love that, right? And then yeah, we just touching on fights as well too. That in itself took me back to Terminator 2 because yeah, one
Yeah.
thing I always remember about Terminator 2 was just how brutal that fight was between Arnold and Robert Patrick's characters and that, you know what I mean? And they
Yeah.
just brought it back here. They tried to do it with T3. They could tell they were
Right.
trying to. It just felt a little diluted, and that to me is like the problem with Terminator 3. It just felt like
Yeah.
while they were trying to be a little edgy with it, with the violence, it just still felt a little diluted. It didn't feel as intense as the first two movies were. It just felt like early 2000s action filmmaking. But here, it's just like, all right, we just going back to that grimy vibe, you know what I mean? That made
Yeah. What
those
is it?
two movies work.
There's a name. Tim Miller was the director, right?
Yeah, Tim Miller. So, yeah, I
Right.
mean, I know he's a guy who could do
Yeah.
action scenes well, right? I mean, look at what he did with
Right.
Deadpool. And he can make them
Yeah.
stylish, right? But in this case,
Yeah.
it's not, he's not going for style here. It's just for intensity, right? So I thought those scenes work. I agree with you in terms of I was gonna say Diego, of Gabriel Luna, you know what I mean, as he, we play the character. Gabriel Luna, see, I keep saying Gabriel, right? Gabriel Luna playing the character of Rev 9. I thought that, yes, he was intimidating, he was menacing, but it wasn't like, what I mean, you could tell like he was trying to do his own thing, you know what I mean? He wasn't trying to fully replicate Robert Patrick's character, right? You know what I mean?
No, no,
He had
yeah.
this slyness
I
about him,
know
but
what
at the
yeah.
same time, it wasn't like, okay, I need to be all up in your face and be all menacing with it. Kind of like what TX was, you know what I mean, to extent.
Right. That's the
T3.
problem. TX,
Yeah,
TX, the for TX is that TX try to oversell the badass, and it's like, look how
exactly.
badass I am. Look
Yeah,
how much of a badass
I'm
I am.
I'm gonna roll up in your house and
And
I'm
it's
gonna
so,
shoot you. You know what I mean? This college kid who
and look,
like with your friends. You know what I mean? Smoking weed. I'm just gonna gun you down because you's one of
yeah,
the
yeah.
generals
And
in
Chris Tanner
Skynet.
look
Like,
and
sorry, you's one of the resistance generals. Like, come on, man, really? You know what I mean?
yeah, and Kristana Loken is not a good actress, so like, and she was poorly directed in that film, so it's like it didn't
Yep,
work now. But
that's
everything they
true.
did with everything they did with Gabriel Luna is exactly what they should have done with TX. Is everything because it's really similar to TX, like almost identical
Yes,
in many
yes,
ways.
yes.
Just the only difference was the hand cannon thing. That's the only difference
Yeah,
that that TX had that Rev 9 don't have. That's it. But everything else was like, no, that is what you had to do.
right.
Um,
And
as
I'll
is,
admit, go on. Sorry.
no, yeah, as is again, it's a shame because I just want to talk about that last part that I really hated and I was just annoyed by. Um, it's a shame that they couldn't have a better conceit at the end of the film. Cause yeah, this was fun. It was I enjoyed. I
Yeah,
enjoyed.
yeah.
So
We'll get to our overall opinions just all right. But and just touching on Gabriel just one last time, right? At first the whole okay, I'm gonna have the endoskeleton and then like the kind of like black polyalloy kind of thing coming out. Like
yeah,
at first I was like, all right, you need to show me a little bit more of this for it to really get into it, and they did. You
yeah.
know what I mean? And I was like, this is real cool. You know what I mean? And I
You know
like
what I
that
like
the
about,
endoskeleton moves the
you know what
same
I like about
exact
it?
way as before, but you know what I mean? The polyalloy just kind of turns into its own thing, you know what I mean, and just
Right.
continues its functions. I love that. I love
Yeah.
how they work that piece of
Right. What's
trickery.
cool? What's cool about it is that when like with T1000, it was like I think it was I think they actually used mercury right for the sequence some of those sequences so practical sequences now
Right.
and I get if they use like what's called that by like magnetic gel because it
Uh-huh.
had that magnetic gel feel to everything now. Like what's called that I forget it's like magnetic gel effectively it's like magnetic liquid so
Right.
it's move like a liquid but like when you put magnet it'll form around it and that I feel like I get a feeling it was moving too it didn't feel computerized at all it felt practical um much like how they play with mercury a lot in with T1000 and that is why
Right.
it had that flow
I
to everything.
kind of disagree there, right? But
Okay.
I'll talk about visual effects in a bit, right?
All right.
Because
No,
I
somebody
mean, because it's at the end of the day, it's a special effect, right? It's a visual
right.
effect that is selling here, and I saw it, and because I'm in the world of Terminator, it didn't take me out of it. I was like, oh, but that look
Right.
real fake, dread. And I mean, I was like that. I was like, all right, I
No,
could
no,
see
no.
it. It's not as real as see in Terminator 2. But why I
Anytime,
say that is because that's well, one sec. Why I say that too? Because with Terminator 2, you saw moments of and just memorable shots of where you see the his figure will form from like the floor, or when he would
right.
literally turn into an actual person that's alongside him. You know what I mean? So you saw that transformation, and because they just work so much into making it look as real as possible, you bought into it. But this one, it was like, yeah, it's a black gel thing that comes out. Okay, I could buy this. This is cool. It's the world of Terminator. That yeah, I'd expect shit like that, right? So yeah.
No, yeah. I was saying that the only special effects that look noticeably bad is when Gabriel Luna is jumping about and you see
Yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah. Those
Or
moments just took me
like
out.
one scene in the beginning when Grace, remember Grace appeared through a highway, right? And
Yes.
she fell. And when she fall, the body hit something and fall. Yeah, that looked a little fake. I mean, other than
Yeah,
that,
you could tell they cut to the actor rolling on the ground. You know what I mean, to sell it. Right, but
right.
let me just run through performances quick, right? I mean, all right. So Natalia, right, who plays Danny, she's fine. She's
Nah,
okay, but
she was the
but
worst for
but
me.
but 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 here's the thing. She was just outshined by everybody else, and that's not to
Yeah.
say that everybody else have more experience acting than her. But it's just that
Right.
you have to sell the fact that you are a character that I have to give a shit about, right? But to me,
Well,
she was just like,
yeah.
oh well, to me, it just kind of came off like I'm just this random chick that this robot's trying to
Yeah.
kill. You know what I mean? So it would have made sense that okay, well maybe she doesn't make that much of a difference now, but eventually her child will become that, and then they do the twist. It's like, wait, really? And then they try to sell all that kind of stuff, which I'll get into, and it's like, yeah, no. All right, but
Yeah.
yeah, but she was outshined by well yeah practically everybody else, right? Well, all the big
Yeah.
leading actors, including Mackenzie Davis, who I thought was solid as Grace. I mean, she did sell
Yeah.
the whole
Little-
tough badass character.
Yeah.
I
You do.
wish
And
I
she
wish that I wish that she
great
wasn't.
physique.
Yes, she had the physique down. You could tell she worked out for that. But
Yep.
I find that at some point she was a little one note. She was just like, all right,
Right.
angry, sick of being angry. I don't like you,
Right.
Sarah. I'll kick you in the fucking face, blah 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 blah, that kind of thing. And same thing for Linda too. Like I think Linda kills it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As Sarah, she's still the badass as before. She's a lot more cynical than before, which makes sense
Right.
because I mean she's old and she's just been
Yeah.
doing this
To
shit
think,
since like what? Since his second film, right? But
right. Well, to think this past. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I do like that there were a few moments where they kind of humanize the character. I'm not saying that she should be crying a lot because one thing about her, she does get emotional in like the first two movies, but in this one there's well a moment where she's talking about John, and I thought that was like a really cool moment. Basically, where she talk about how because of all the years that passed, well, she never got around to taking a picture of her son, and it's understandable why.
Right.
And she just kind of forgets how he looks like. I thought that was a great moment.
Yeah.
But there were a few clunky lines that they gave her. As not because like it's not like line delivery. It's just the lines themselves where I just felt like generic. You could tell they just
Yeah.
pulled that from one of the first two movies now. It just felt
Yeah.
dated. It just felt like, oh gosh, this is the kind of shit you're gonna write for her. Come on. And last but not least, as far as acting, Schwarzenegger, the man himself, was to see the
Yeah.
secondary character in the show. That's one thing I like about. Well, I'll give credit where credit is due. They make him a secondary character, right? And
Right.
it's funny that you wait till like about almost after the second half of the film for him to be introduced there. And I was thinking to myself, well, while I was watching, I was thinking like, see, Blade Runner 2049, right? Where you thinking that Harrison Ford is going to be one of the main characters, only like what, like halfway to the
Right.
show, close into the third act, that's when he comes in, right? But his entry in the film didn't feel like it was too late or too little. It was just like it was at the right time. It was basically to end Ryan Gosling's story and continue, Harrison Ford's one. I thought that was like really cool. In this case
Right.
here, like I thought it would do something a little bit similar where it's like, okay, there's a reason why he comes in so late, but not really. But it's just like, all right, I'm playing this character of Carl now, and well, because I have no purpose anymore, I happen to find this woman who's being abused by her husband. I, handle my biz, and now I'm pretty much staying with her and her son now. So I'm a dad now, you know what I mean, or uncle or whatever you want to call it, right? And the whole thing about him being involved in like in draperies was well, it was funny. It was kind of like, haha, that's
Right.
interesting. Like a robot
Where did
talking
you go
about
that?
that kind of stuff. It was funny. I like the fact that they didn't spend too much time on it. You know what I mean? But I think my
Right.
issue is because I think deep down is like a really cool idea of okay, what would a Terminator do now that it's function now that it has no function? It's something that they play around with in the second film. They even touch on it in the third one where it's like, well, what the mission done? You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if I die, I die. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter to me because I'm just a robot. But this one is like, all right, I'm exploring humanity. Okay, cool. I find this family. All right, cool. I do my thing. Okay. But still, at the same time, it's like, all right, you still have this connection with Sarah, but they don't really properly can explain it. Just like, oh, well, hopefully one day we'll meet up and then I'll tell you, well, he doesn't really say I'm sorry, but hopefully you'll understand that, look, I was just doing that job, you know what I mean? So don't
Right.
get mad at me. But it just did not really justify that or exploit as much as they
That's all.
wanted to, given what we got at the beginning. You know what I mean? That's the problem.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Um.
So
As I say.
overall, well, so while I do appreciate Arnold's character, at the same time, and I hate to see this, it's almost like kind of like an afterthought now. Like,
Yep.
oh, we kind of just need Arnold to sell the show, but not really. Kind of like he was there. He do his job. He stood his ground against the Rev 9. It was cool. He got some great moments, but still you have Grace though. She was doing she thing. So it's kind
Right.
of like, was the point of having Arnold at the end of the day? Although they set up pretty well with the beginning, but it's just
Right.
like we still haven't explored that. We never really get any moment. Well, we
Yeah.
almost was going to get a moment where Sarah would have confronted uh Uncle Carl, but no, the family interrupts, so we had to put we guns down. But they never really do anything after that. It's just like, well, we have to stick to the mission, and well, not surprising. Well, Carl dies, right? Just like, well, whatever. So I felt
Right.
they really could have fixed that up now.
Now, yeah. Can you think with that? The woman he was with. Okay, so you remember that little scandal with Arnold Schwarzenegger cheating on his wife with a maid
Oh
or
yeah,
something
yeah,
like.
that was like years
He
ago,
had a
man.
child.
Yeah, right.
He had a child with killed. Right. Yeah, that woman looking just like that maid do. Like, seriously.
Wow, you serious?
I find so like I was watching and I was like, I didn't get it. I did somebody make the point and I was like, I just decided to check it myself. I find it kind of looking like the beat, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, anything. As I said, the problem is that they needed to punch up the script and they kind of fucked that up. And again, the big conceit is really stupid. The big conceit of Danny, what Danny really is really lame and stupid. And here's the thing. You know what that is like? It's basically like the equivalent of that old dumb riddle of a man and his son gets into an accident. The man dies, but the son needs surgery. And the surgeon says, I can't, he's my son. That bullshit.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
people still fall for that. People still fall for that. Like, come on, man. And I felt they could have sat down and come up with a real good reason as to why John had to die. Yeah, you don't mind if you kill John, but you had to get that weight, and they didn't give it no weight. That's
Yeah,
the mistake. That's
that's the
why.
thing. Yeah, and
Um,
and they could have well, I would say they could have and should have
they could
given
have
well
but
with
it
what
didn't.
they do with the first two movies, right? What
Right,
the groundwork that they laid there. So just using that right as a segue, right, into story. Now I understand, or at least I could get the mindset of where Tim Miller and David Goyer and those folks were coming from, right? The first
right,
two movies, well, especially the first one in particular, wasn't really heavy on characterization. It was just, big situation going on, much bigger than you think, and it's just characters kind of going through the motions and just kick-assery ensues, right? I get that. Second one, develop it a lot more, develop the characters a lot more. Okay, cool. So understand from a going back to basics perspective that you wanna just strip it. You want to just strip back on everything. That you want to make it grimy. You just want to make it simple to the point. You know what I mean? Sometimes it works, right? With some films, right? With some reboots. Other times they don't, right? So I get where they was coming from. Like, all right, well, we could just touch on the basic stuff. Like, okay, well, John get killed, but we don't want to spend too much time, you know what I mean, on the grief that Sarah going through. Cause we had to show some action scenes here. And okay, Grace come from the future, and you know what I mean. But we don't want to spend too much time really developing why she become a soldier and all that kind of stuff. But where you really see it though is with Danny Boy, because they just
yeah,
give like about 3-4 minutes of of backstory. It's just, oh well, here's my brother, and I'm waking him up with breakfast in bed, which threw me off. I was like, wait, that's Shimano. I was like, no,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, that's your brother. You talking about, oh, you know what I mean? Very soon I'm gonna be as popular as Bruno Mars on friggin' Instagram. Like, bro, really, really?
Right.
You see the father, and then you realize, okay, they're working at this factory, and they had a really like one of those moments where they could have touched on this slightly. We talk about, oh well, you're telling me I'm gonna lose my job to a robot. That's like, okay, that's cool because
Right.
yeah, automation and stuff like that is a thing. You know what I mean?
There's a
People might
lot
lose
of
their
politics
jobs.
in this, huh?
Yeah, like that's real shit that people thinking about right now. Like, oh
Yeah,
shit, am
no,
I gonna
there's
lose
a
my
lot
job
of politics.
to a robot? Cool.
No, they had a lot of politics in there.
Yeah, but they just not saying they should have stopped to talk about it, but why not a scene where she was talking to the boss? Well, a little bit more of that actually. Can we only get like a little brief moment of it before
Right.
the Rev 9 comes in, right? Not saying you had to spend too much time building you doing your world building or the characterization, but enough for us to give a shit. Cause yeah, like I just for myself just kinda not really care much about. I was just watching characters just doing this stuff, and yes, while the action was fun and I was, shoving popcorn in my face, all that kind of stuff. In the back of my head, I was telling myself, but 2019 now, you know what I mean? We could have just get a little bit more characterization, instead of, and I think the reason why I was thinking about it is because we've seen these characters before. We've seen these characters before. We've seen, the so-called mother of the revolution. You know what I mean? Or the revolutionary leader. We've seen the protector. We've seen the Terminator. We've seen these characters before. So yeah, you're showing me them again. You're showing me them with new actors and faces and whatnot. But not enough for me to actually care, man. At least that's what I give credit to the second film. At least it stops every so often to give you a reason to give a shit. You know what I mean? And I felt that they didn't really do that there. They just kind of sacrifice characterization, or just a little bit, or just enough characterization, I should say, for action scenes.
Right.
Yeah, they sacrifice one for the other now, and I felt that was to the detriment to the film now. So there's a few more things, right? Visual effects. Yes, I know Terminator is, known for, especially the second one, is known for its groundbreaking visual effects. No, nothing that you see here is groundbreaking or revolutionary or whatnot, right? But there were moments like during the action scenes where you could tell, yes, it's CG. Yes, that's not real. Yes, that's Mackenzie rolling on the floor. Sorry, rolling on the ground. Actually, after this car smash or whatever it is. But oh, well, that's the stunt double. You know what I mean? So there's moments that kind of took you out there. And then also with the character of Rev 9, like I say, when he jumps and leaps and stuff like that, it's like, yeah, it looks kind of
Yeah.
not cheap, not fake, but just not realistic enough, right? And I thought that with friggin' James Cameron and Lightstorm involved with it, or at least the people behind the VFX would have make a little effort to make the shit look a little more realistic, you know what I mean? It just kind of goes a little over the top, especially with a scene involving a dam near the end. And I was like, all right, while I'm liking what I'm seeing here as far as like an action movie goes, it's still like, all right, this shit not believable. Like, this is just so over the top. Even my Terminator standards is just like incredibly over the top, right? But it was
Right.
still a cool scene. Don't get me wrong, but just that one scene in particular kind of took me out. The scene in the plane was fine. It was intense and all that, but just that whole damn scene that happens afterwards, I was just like, wait, really? Like, really? Suspension of belief, anyone? Or suspension of disbelief, anyone? Come on. But anyway, right? So that's visual effects. It was kind of hit or miss for me, right? Music, I thought music was fine. Junkie XL came, did his thing. You know what I mean? He harkened back to the old, to the old team and whatnot. So you know what I mean? So he did his thing. I have no complaints about the score at all, right? And but last things last though, before we just get to our last thoughts and then rating, right? Um, it's just the overall product that we get. You know what I mean? Like, once again, I understand where some people coming from, seeing that this is the third best as like a return to form and all that, right? And it's funny though, as I read it on Wikipedia, that James Cameron pretty much treated Terminator 3, 4, and 5 as just being in alternate timelines. Timelines.
Yeah.
Not one timeline, mind you. Timelines. But anyway,
Oh well. We gotta. Yeah.
yeah, but still, like, what's like, all right, so basically I'll say this. While I do appreciate the whole return to form aspect of things, keeping things kind of, on the ground, grimy, you know what I mean, intense, fast paced and whatnot, I felt that they really did sacrifice, the stuff that made the second one great. You know what I mean? Which was just the characterization of these individuals, the humanization of Arnold's character as well too, which I felt they tried to do in this one here, but just not enough. But I mean, all that stuff about him wanting to be with a family and all that kind of stuff is cool. That's great, but it still ultimately had nothing to do with what it is he did at the very beginning. Because like, oh well, yeah, I killed this woman's son, but here I am taking care of this woman and her son, right? So there's no real connection. Basically, it just kind of happens because, oh, the purpose is I have no purpose anymore, and they didn't really sum up that properly either, because, well, Skynet, well, as they always say, 3 million lives were saved, right? So Skynet lost, so why feel the need to send back another Terminator that looks like Arnold to just do this shit again, right? One thing
Yeah.
I forgot to mention, and this is what the Terminator movies do very well, and I felt that they did it well here. Um, the sort of transition, although they do it reverse actually, the transition from the war to like modern times now. So like there's this great shot where you're seeing like the Terminators coming out from the water in this beach.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a real cool shot, right? And then it just kind of dissolves into to 1998, and then the event happens. So cool. So that was cool, right? So yes, the intros and stuff. I like how they actually work in a key scene involving Sarah when she was at the being filmed at the asylum, using that to open the film. I thought was cool as well. That was cool. So there's some good stuff, and you could tell that they were trying to hold on to what made those first two films great. But it's just I felt that they just sacrificed pretty much everything else as a result. Last thing last, before I forget, the big elephant in the room. Danny being the leader of the resistance. Now, look, right?
That's interesting.
As you have said, and yes, as many people will say, Jed, the movie was trying to sell us bullshit, Jed. Like it just didn't work. It didn't feel right to me as well. Like especially with the way how her character is and then her transition to where she's at the end. It just felt so forced in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
But not saying that, oh well, she have to be a badass from the beginning. Not saying that. But just when you come and tell me all of a sudden that, oh well, she's the leader of the resistance, and then you go to this
But the thing
flashback, by the way, and you
is,
want to tell that all of a sudden she's tough and like even
yeah,
the flashback scene, I was just like, but she just looked normal. They just kind of have the scene look a kind of way, and she just happened to prevent Grace from getting killed. And oh well, eventually she taught us to stop fighting each other and start fighting the machines. Big fucking whoops. But still,
yeah,
how
exactly.
can
But
I
my
buy
thing
into you being this character? You know what I mean?
here's the thing. Here's the thing. In various timelines, Sarah Connor was already that in. So that is not an alien concept to the Terminator fan base now. That's what I hated about this. It's just like, yeah, this kind of weak and this don't work at all.
Yeah,
Uh
I agree. I
and
agree.
and as I said, again, you needed a better payoff. Um, you know, why hype that as something? To me, that is a throwaway line.
Yeah,
Quick
it
throwaway
was. It
line.
was.
So it's like
Um,
if we call it, if when Sarah Connor said, well, he's a woman, so and so, all Mackenzie could have just quickly correct her and say, no, she's really the leader, like immediately.
right.
You don't have to go a whole goddamn film building that up for that.
Yeah. And they make this sound like it's some kind of big deal now. But come on,
Yeah,
after
yeah,
five
a big
Terminator movies, who cares now? Even though,
yeah,
shit just changed. And then couple more things. You see, it's like the more I talk about it, the more things pop up, right? The flashback scenes, right? Like I understand why they use them, but I felt they were lazy as far as world building goes. Like
that's
the
fine.
first one
Yeah,
being with well, I would say the first big one being with Grace's character, like how Mackenzie Davis's character, how she become the way she was. I was like, okay, but y'all could have shown me this or tell me this in a much different way. Y'all had to have the moment where the character is hospitalized or in a bed, you know what I mean? She recuperated whatnot, and then all of a sudden she dreaming this elaborate flashback sequence that detail how she become. Come on. And
right.
then in the process of that too, they didn't really explain Legion or how Legion came to be. It was just, oh well, the humans created another AI and it's called
Right,
Legion, and Legion took
right.
over. Why? How? What does that have to do with Skynet? Because
Well, no,
Sarah mentioned Skynet, and Grace was like, "What?" So
right,
okay,
exactly.
Skynet didn't exist. All right,
Right,
so Skynet didn't exist. Fine. So you're saying that it happened again, and
right.
they just so happen to call it Legion, and it has all these more advanced Terminators. It's just basically a repeat of the first film
Well, I
again.
think
But
they basically Star Wars The Force Awakens it, right? That's basically what they did.
right.
That's,
Good comparison. Yeah, this pretty
that's the
much
idea.
is a Force Awakens. It's new, but it's not really new.
Right.
Yeah, but still, once again, I just didn't feel the okay. This is how serious of a threat this thing is. Like it got it brilliantly in the first film and the second film. Moments of human beings getting killed and whatnot, right? And you know what I mean, how families were affected and stuff like that. You really saw how the humans were affected by this war. You know what I mean, the death and all that kind of stuff. Here it was just oh, post-apocalyptic future, soldiers doing this stuff, they get killed. Okay, some humans decide that they're going to kill each other for food. I had one line that almost made me laugh, but I kind of cringe because yeah, once again, just some poorly written lines where she talk about how she father get killed for a can of peaches, a can of peaches.
Right.
Interesting, but the way how it was written, it was just like, I was just a throwaway one line to like, oh, you kind of blink and miss it now. But yeah, overall, as a whole, I could talk about flaws from now until, until Judgment Day, right? Haha. But still, while I appreciate the effort of the filmmakers of trying to go back to the original film, going back to basics, going back to when it was just grimy and just about a killer robot for the future come to the past to kill some woman and some badass character shows up to protect her, right? Okay, I appreciate that, right? Fine. And like I said, as you know, this was like my Facebook status. This would have been the film that I imagine James Cameron would have made if it was Terminator 3. Like, in other words, if this would have been what Terminator 3 was if James Cameron was involved, right? And we didn't have the whole TX and Salvation and all that other jazz. But at the same time, it's just been there, seen that you
Yeah.
make little tweaks here and there, but the tweaks are really all that smart. You have a
Yeah. If we
little
got this,
shocking, you have a little part at the beginning which kind of coming off a little bit more like shock value than anything else, because they don't really justify that. You know what I mean? You have Arnold come in and okay, cool. You could have touched on it a little bit more, but no. We have to keep the ball rolling. So we have no time to have friggin' Sarah talk about, oh, you were the one who killed my son. So why it is you helping me with sending me text messages about where Terminator's showing up, which
right.
they didn't even explain properly neither. I was just like,
They
all
can't
right, that's
explain.
kind of like
Well,
okay, it's
are we
cool.
think,
It's cool that
Matthew,
he helped it
are we
show,
think,
but at the same time, it's like, what? I don't understand.
are we think to finish because I just going to kind of like quickly explain all of that real fast.
All right, well, I'm done. I'm done because I don't know. Just that in itself they didn't really properly explain it. That's just for me. But yeah,
Right. Yeah.
go on.
Yeah, as I say, it's a shame that they didn't like, fix this properly because, like, again, they could have really done a good job. Because the sad part is that if we got this now without all those other sequels, this would have blown real people's mind, right?
Yeah,
With
definitely.
with the added advantage of fixing the script. You to fix the script, one little fix, and I'm
Yeah,
gonna just tell them fix, and I will shut up about it.
say the
What
fix.
they should have done, the big twist should have been, well, you properly explain where that T800 comes from. And the person who sends back the T800 to kill John Connor would be, dun dun dun, John Connor. That would have been the twist. And then I would explain why John Connor sent back a Terminator to kill himself in the past. Yes,
Please,
the
please,
answer.
please, please explain. Yeah, yeah, I'm like real intrigued right now.
Right. The answer would be that Legion shows up after they defeat Skynet, and Legion like is was guaranteed to win, and like you know just run a whole narrative of going back in time, and he can't get away from Legion anyway, and he realized that the only move is to kill himself. So you'll create a timeline where they could fight Legion reasonably and have a fighting chance against Legion, and you justify a new timeline with that. That's it. That explains everything.
Oh, yeah.
It'll explain everything. It'll explain why, and then he give the that T800 some instructions to tell his mom to stop other incursions into the past, so things could play out in a certain way, so they could get to Danny. That's the answer. See how easy that is a fix.
Yeah, and you think the people. I don't want to say the person. I
So
don't want to
now,
put full blame on James Cameron, right? But the people behind this franchise would have figured out, would have make it,
no, right.
you know.
So now you give John's death weight. In fact, when they do the for John thing, it's John's whole timeline. Like John sacrifices his whole timeline just for this timeline, and like you have to justify it. You gotta say he just do that shit just so. You remember a movie called Butterfly Effect? Remember that movie?
Yeah, with oh gosh,
Ashton
Ashton
Kutcher.
Kutcher. Yeah,
Right. Movie or shit. But
yeah. It was shit. Yeah,
it had a good premise of him running out of options. So he had to come to one timeline that works, where he had to sacrifice his relationship with the girl, and that's the only timeline where things work out mostly well. Remember that?
yeah. I remember.
You could write it in such a way where John would say, look, I can't beat this Legion thing. This Legion thing too strong. And Legion will be like Skynet. So you like explain why they beat Skynet, because Legion was fighting Skynet at the same time in cyberspace or some shit like that. No? And that's your story there. And that would have like at least it would have justified why John had to sacrifice his whole timeline, because it really mean that the true death of humanity, like yeah, the beat Skynet, but Legion much worse by
Yeah,
2042 or about this. Simple
right, right.
fix.
And
Right?
and the,
Not
beau- and the beauty about that, sorry to cut you. And the beauty about that now is that now people could go back and watch the first two movies and don't and not feel as if, oh well, John's
right.
existence was a waste of time.
That
Like, oh,
was
we shouldn't be
exactly
invested in John
right.
anymore because of what happened here. You know what I mean? I think,
And the
well,
whole
yeah,
point,
that's why people pissed off about it, because like now John have no relevance anymore. Why should I care about him? Because
exactly.
y'all
I
are
no
the
problem.
balls to kill him, right? So why should I care?
Right. Yeah, the problem is that John's existence had no weight. So like you still do the whole 1997 thing. So you kill him in 1998. John like work it out. John like say, okay, he had to kill Skynet, but he had to also work out in such a way where he could deal with Legion at the same time. And the whole point is to give humanity a fighting chance against Legion. That is all he need to do. That's his big plan. And have T800. Well, Carl explain that shit. He's the exposition dump character
Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
that.
I mean, he done that the voice already, so cool. Yeah,
That's
let him
his
explain.
story.
Yeah.
And then you do that story, and then you do a big wibbly wobbly timey wimey story that Sarah Connor Chronicles did very well,
Yep.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, that's it. So that's my quick bullshit fix. It's just my Monday morning quarterbacking fix.
No, but
Uh,
that makes perfect sense actually. But you know, while I think about it, I'm like, why Cameron didn't think about that though? Like, I don't know.
whatever.
But
Give it
all right, but
rating.
rating and then a piece of bad news, but kind of not surprising bad news, right?
Rating.
So okay, what's your rating? What's your rating?
Rating is high CC8. Very high CC8.
That's actually where I went to see the film.
Right.
Yeah.
But high CC8, I can't get this on movie tongue or anything like that. It's just a lot of it just don't work or gel for me. I had a lot of fun with the action. Look, go IMAX with the action because it looked good. It's great. I went to see it in movie tongue. In that big screen, it looked good. I had fun with it, but yeah, the script sucked because of that bullshit at the end. It's so dumb. Like, holy shit, they could have like do a big cool thing and give John's death weight. I don't mind you killing John, you know. That is actually really bold of you. Give it weight, right? But they kind of force awakens it and it's half-assed. Whatever.
Yeah.
I see it.
All right. Well, me in my case, though, you know what? I'll give this because I end up enjoying this. I did come out of it, you know, cursing under my breath or where the bun, the cinema down and whatnot.
Right, yeah.
But you know what I mean? As an action film, I was entertained by it. You know what I mean? As a return to form, I was entertained by it. But I do agree with you. That script just needed a lot of work, though. And y'all had 3 films while it was playing around with ideas. Like y'all could have just, I don't know, just come with some smarter shit though. I mean, it's Terminator. I know it's action, but still it have smart shit. That's why people love it. But anyway, rating wise, I'll give this a very, very, very light 3 out of 5. It was alright. It was alright for what it was, right? It was. I wouldn't say it's a total waste of time. Don't go see it in the theaters. But yeah, don't you don't have to. I recommend not spending too much money on it. So no, don't go to see it in IMAX. You'll probably just walk out very disappointed and be like, this wasn't worth my money. But you know what I mean? If you're a fan, yeah, check it out. If you just tuned out of the franchise, say after, I don't know, the third one, then yeah, don't even bother with it. And now for the unsurprising bad news. So, Dark Fate bombed at the box office.
Right, no surprise. No
And
fucking.
it could lose over 100 million theatrically. Not surprising. So right now, Joker is still number 1, and Dark Fate, well,
Right,
hey,
so this
you
might
tried, right? You know, so Carl Draperies, you try, man. I mean, you tried. So, but here's the thing. This last thing I want to say before we move on with our lives, right? And I mean, it's a shame that I've seen this as a Terminator fan and whatnot. But I think now, well, because of this thing being the flop that it is, right? Not saying that I wanted it to be a flop from the beginning, but now that it is one, and you know the reception that it's been getting, I think we could kind of give this franchise a break now. Not even a break, just a rest.
Yeah,
we could just give this thing a rest now.
Because I said it before and I say it again. If you want Terminator to work, put it on a streaming service, right?
Yes.
Write strong script. Or like, listen, I still think Genesis and Salvation are not bad scripts. It's just as £10 a shit.
Yeah, agreed. It's just a lot of great ideas in just one film. It's too much.
Yeah, you can't do that. Exactly. Put it on a streaming service, right? HBO. You see what HBO doing with Watchmen? Fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Episodes. Around that. a good strong Terminator franchise, 8 episodes, easy, and you
Yeah.
hit your season again. Sarah Connor Chronicles was a good show. Bring back that shit, whatever.
Yeah. Well, what I was gonna say is, well, I don't know if Netflix will get around to it. Had them show the Sarah Connor because if people responded
You
good,
know,
then hey,
bring back
cool.
that
We gotta have maybe not a season 3, maybe I don't know, but we could have a new Terminator TV show.
series. Yeah.
Yeah. But
You know,
as far as
don't fit theaters.
as far as this movie thing goes, I don't know. I just feel worn out by it now. Even Arnold himself looks kind of
Yeah.
worn out by it now. It's just like, all right, we've
Kind of.
done this thing. We've done this thing over and over and over. Y'all can stop, right? Y'all can stop. Stick to the series. Keep putting out video games. Incorporate them into Mortal Kombat. Do whatever it is all you want. But as far as the theatrical shit goes, yeah, just give this thing a break, man. I mean, we've had enough. 25 years of films and we've had enough, right? Just say.
Yeah, enough. Nice.